Why Ghanaians are required to provide two birth documents by the NVC, that is the National Visa Center of the USA, during the application process. Now, maybe not only Ghanaians, if you are watching this video, and then you are also required to provide two birth documents in your visa application. Let me know the country in which you are watching this from. Now, here's the reason, and then I will tell you everything that you have to do to achieve that target in your process. Now, here's the first one. I had on many occasions I've been receiving a message from the applicants or maybe my followers, my subscribers, that this is what they're asking to provide. How should they go about it? There was a woman recently who messaged me that while she was filing the application for the husband, she's in USA whilst the husband is in Africa, specifically in Ghana. And then she presented a birth certificate, even though this is our current birth certificate, the biometric one. She presented this. NVC got it rejected, right? So they rejected the birth certificate, and then they asked her to provide second or secondary birth evidence, right? So secondary evidence of birth. Now, when I checked the birth certificate, her birth certificate was registered in the, that is that of the husband, was registered in the year, not this, right? So it was registered in the year 2018. But looking at something, the husband is nearly born in the year 1980 something, right? So 1980 something, that is where the husband was born. So the key here is that late registration, that is what is affecting most of the application, whilst the USA or the NVC may require additional document to prove the birth registration of your country. Is that okay? So when you are born in the year, let's say you are born in the year 1980s, and then you are providing a birth certificate that got a registration in the year 2018. What happened since you were born till that time? Are you getting the point? Now, we know most of us in Ghana or most of us in the African year, majority of us lack that birth certificate at birth. So initially when you are born, you are about friend of a friend say you be sure na birth certificate na mom you won't be all you lucky, you be also a IRA, and then so many occasions you be also you call one or hospital, and they don't have that access to the birth registration. A whole lot of issue, but I'll tell you how you can resolve that by the end of this video. So make sure that you stay here to the end of the video. Is that okay? Now, some of the things raise a doubt. So if that is the case, then there's a doubt here. And almost to say, okay, what happened? Are you truly the citizenship of the country that in which you are applying from, right? In this case, Ghana, or maybe marriage certificate now will provide here. You see, the Ghanaian marriage. If you are new to this channel, you can check my video. I have a lot of video on marriage certificate and the documents and other stuff when it comes to visa application. By the way, I'm not an immigration officer, neither a lawyer, just a consultancy service. What we have learned over many years of time assisting applicants in their visa application, then documentation, especially those outside the country and then within the Ghana, as well as Africa. We have a lot of people that needed our assistance. If this is something you are interested in, you may consider subscribing to the channel for more lessons like this. When you see the marriage certificate, the Ghanaian marriage certificate, you can see that mostly it is required that you provide the name of your father. So that is according to the default or the policy of the marriage registration. The name, the details of your parent. Is that okay? Your parent, the father on your marriage certificate. Now, the doubt here is that it could be that your father's name on the marriage certificate you provided, let's say your father's name is something, and then they check the one on the birth certificate you presented to the NVC is slightly different. Not slightly, there's a difference between the name. Because what happened is that so papa akabebia, it means that you can let someone stand in for you when you are registering your marriage. Is that okay? But my best advice is that make sure that you are using the name on your birth certificate as when you are registering the marriage. Is that okay? And they put it into bracket and write what deceased over there. Right? That is the best way. So make sure that your name, your parents' name on your birth certificate are in line with the one in the marriage certificate, right? So that is for a quick advice. So I have a list of everything that you have to abide by, right? So now this is another one. If you have the old Ghanaian birth certificate, that is an advantage to you, right? Mostly these people request a birth certificate at birth, right? So maybe the Ghanaian one is the red one. And the red one, if you have the red one, a quick one, if you have the red one, which is the old one, gradually that one is fading away from the system, right? So you can retrieve the old one to the biometric. If you need an assistant on how to do that, you can still check our video or just comment in the comment section. You need help, and let's see how well we can assist you. So that one, there was a lady who sent her one to us. I think I have a video here. You look at everything has faded, right? So the only thing that we had here was the entry number on the birth certificate, which of course assisted us to retrieve that old information on the old one to the biometric one for her. Everything will be on the biometric one. Is that okay? If you need help on that, that's okay. I think her date of birth was somewhere November 1994. When you see the date of registration of the birth is 27 or somewhere, the same month. So that is telling the consular or the National Visa Center of the USA that, of course, since you were born, they automatically made a registration for you. Is that okay? That is the key one. So if you have that birth certificate, I would advise you to use that one to apply when you are going through that process. Right? Now, let's look at the secondary aspect. Those of us who didn't register our birth at the hospital initially. So if you're a father or a mother watching right now, make sure that you do that as soon as possible for your children because of a traveling purpose or documentation purpose. To be on the safer side, always make sure that you do the right thing. You register your child at the hospital, have the weighing card and then other stuff alongside. Now, if you don't have that, now this is the second child that you have to provide a secondary evidence of birth, right? So that is also so mostly in Ghana is required to provide those two birth documents. So the certified copy of entry in register of birth, this is the one here, right? So this is what you have. You have this is the first one. That is one mandatory. You have to provide this one. Now, to make this one legal here, I would advise you to attest it. Is that okay? When the issue becomes a critical, it's only the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that intervene for us, the civilians. Let's say something like that. Is that okay? So, if your birth certificate have been registered, like let's say 2018, you need to do a reprinting. So a reprinting means that you reprint the birth certificate. And if you reprint it, if it's legally registered in the system, then you are going to have every information is already in the system. If you want to know how to reprint, this video is loaded with a lot of information, right? So that can help your application successful and avoid any delay. You have to reprint it. So you need a copy of the birth cert, and then if you are in Ghana or if your colleagues in Ghana, you can go to the nearest birth and death and tell them that you want to do a reprint with a copy of what? Your birth certificate, right? Okay, if you want us to assist you in doing that reprinting, let me know in the comment section below, right? We just need the information on the birth certificate, and then we check if everything is in the system according to the birth and death, and then it will be reprinted. If it's reprint, then it means that you are going to have the current date. So if the birth certificate has been registered in the 2019 and then you are reprinting it today, you are going to have today's date on it. Is that okay? With the signature of the current registrar of birth and death. So that one is telling the consular that, of course, your birth registration is still in the system, the Ghana system. Now, after having that, I would advise you to attest it. Also, attest it. What does it mean to attest? Right, if you're already on this channel, you know what it means. To attest means that you are verifying the authentication of the document, the Ghanaian document. Not all countries recognize our document. Is that okay? Those countries are gonna have a partnership with in some way or the immigration side of the issue. They do accept, but not everyone. To verify the authentication of the document, it must first of all be notarized. Notarization sent to the. This is a very simple and a straightforward process, but explaining it takes some time. Then send it to the Judicial Service of Ghana. You can see this. And then finally, this is where the head of the department comes in. So that is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Once most of the embassies or the consulate of the country see this Ministry of Foreign Affairs letter on your document, it means that internationally, Ministry of Foreign Affairs is intervening for us to prove that our document is authentic. Are you getting it? So I advise everybody that if you are using the biometric birth certificate, make sure that you attest it at it. By the way, if you need help on that, everything that you need, let me know. As a consultancy service legally registered in Ghana here, with many years of experience, I believe we can assist you to obtain those documents, right? We can consult and guide you to obtain that. And once you have this, and let's look at the second part required by the NVC. Now, the second part, what we can do here is to prove that I'll categorize that into three. Is that okay? I'll categorize that into three. Yeah, into three. The spouse one means that you are applying for your spouse, and then the second one you are applying for, let's say, a parent-child, right? So a parent-child, your child, you are coming from your parent, or a father or a parent coming for their child, right? And then lastly is the siblings. It can be your brother, your sister, your cousin, or something like that. Okay, and then finally I'll give you a bonus. Make sure that you watch this video to the end. So starting with the spouse, which I've been receiving a lot. If your spouse, our refund is that okay? Our refund. So the second one is that if you have a weighing card, you can add a weighing card, but be very, very, very careful. Make sure that you check the informations on the weighing card tally with the information on the birth certificate. Your name, date of birth, your father or your parents' name is almost the same thing as on your birth certificate before you can add that as a second or birth evidence. Is that okay? If you have a school certificate, this certificate must be older than, I advise you that it must be older than the birth certificate. Let's say you registered this birth certificate in the year 2020. And then you completed, the one that you are going to provide must be somewhere, let's say you completed in the 2001, 2020, 2003, or 1998 or something. The most important thing is that it must be older than the birth certificate. Is that okay? To prove that every information, your name, your date of birth, place, everything is intact. Okay, what will happen if the names are different? That is why I say you should stay here till the end of the video. Is that okay? Now, if you are unable to find all those things, the latter part, the least you can do here is that you need a sworn affidavit, a declaration. Okay, what I mean by the declaration here is that you need an elderly person in your house. So mostly the one that works best here is that your father, umami. Right, so mommy tells you, let your mother declare for you. Your mother is going to declare your birth details. Is that okay? So this is how it's done. You go to a commissioner of oath or a notary public. We can assist you with all these ones. Is that okay? You go to a commissioner of oath or a notary public. Tell them that you are going to declare your birth details of your child. Is that okay? Your child also. That one must contain your name, your legal name, so date of birth, place of birth, your parents' details, and then signed by your mom if she's alive. If she's not alive, it can be your dad. Is that okay? Why moms or mothers work perfectly? The mother is the one who can prove that indeed you are my child. Is that okay? And then there's no complete doubt about that. But for men, DNA, baby, I'm the way. Is that okay? Is that okay? So if your mom is alive, your mom did. But if none of them is alive, then you need a relative from the family to declare that birth for you. And then this one, not just an affidavit. This affidavit must be attested up to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, right? So the process here is a notary public. Notarize it first, and then the Judicial Service of Ghana, they are letterhead, and then as well as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That one is going to be accepted internationally. Is that okay? So if you're able to do that, Panya, you upload everything to the portal, and then make sure that you have all the original copies and photocopies down. At the day of your interview, you send everything to them for them to verify. So, by the way, if you are gaining some value from this video, why don't you subscribe to the channel for more lessons like this? Give us a thumbs up. If you have any specific question, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so the parent-child, let's say a father coming from the child, a mother coming from the child, or the other way around, the child coming from their parents, it's almost the same process to prove the second evidence of birth, right? It's the same process as the first one. But here's the thing, so you have to make sure that, okay, let's assume your dad doesn't have, or your mom doesn't have the birth certificate. Is that okay? One or two reasons he or she couldn't register with the birth and death in Ghana or in your country. Here you have to declare an old age. Okay? There's an old age declaration. Is that okay? So the same person, if it's your mom will go to the notary public and telling them that this and this and that. You see, in Ghana, if you are over 60 years, you can't register the birth certificate. Is that okay? If you're over 60 years, you can never register the birth certificate in Ghana. So yours is to do a declaration, an old age declaration. Is that okay? So and that one, after the notary public, and then you have to notarize it to send it to the court, and then as well as Ministry of Foreign Affairs before it can be accepted. All right, and then the names, make sure that your father or your parents' name on you, the child application, on you, the child documents like your birth certificate, always have to be the same. So don't do that mistake, right? Because you change your name up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Don't do that. So make sure that always your parents' name is the same as the one on your birth certificate. Other than that, your application is gonna be rejected, right? Okay. Now, for the sibling side, you have to prove a relationship. So, which kind of relationships are you talking about here? Is it your brother, your sister, your cousin, or something like that? If it's your brother, the only way you can prove here that the person is your brother or your sister, your direct sibling here, is the two of you, mostly is the two of you, your birth certificate. So your birth certificate is going to have your parents' name on it. Can you see? If you watching me right now, the two of us are coming from the same fathers. It means that my dad is your dad, your mom is my mom. So the same name should appear on both of us, our birth certificate. Are you getting the point? So that way you are proving the relationship between you and your brother or your sister, right? So if it's a cousin, then you have to make sure that you are going to get a third document. That is your auntie, your uncle document. You have to prove that they are connected. The two parents are connected. That is why you guys are cousins. Is that okay? So that is how you are going to prove the second evidence of birth to the NVC, right? So now this is the bonus part of it. If you have been here, then congratulations. Now the bonus part here is that for those of you who have changed your name for one or two reasons. So let's pick from the married side. Maybe you've gotten married, so your name has changed. Okay, maybe the woman Obana Kakofa Bema Nidin. So in that case, it means that you need a marriage certificate as an evidence, and then as well as a gazette, right? As well as a gazette. So without the affidavit and a gazette, you cannot change your name to your husband's name, right? I'm talking about the spouse one. So take note of that. If your name has been changed, and make sure that you provide those documents that shows that your name has been changed for your maiden name to your husband's name. Is that okay? Now, and then on the other side here, so which one? If your cousin has changed their name to something like that, of course you also need affidavit and then a gazette to prove that, right? So you need an affidavit and a gazette to prove the changes. So these are some of the documents that you have to gather when you are being required to provide the two birth evidence, right? So the two birth documents in your visa application to the USA. Do you have any question? Don't hesitate to comment down below And then if you have any, or if you need our service, so let me know in the comment section below, and then let's see how best we can assist you to get that. All the best in your visa application.